I've lived in this neighborhood for over 30 years. This was where my family's roots ran deep. My grandfather planted the oak tree in the front yard when he was just a boy, a symbol of our legacy, a living memory of those days long gone. To me, that tree was more than wood and leaves. It was a beacon of family, history, tradition. But to Karen, my neighbor, everything about it was a nuisance. She hated the oak from the moment she moved in. Every fall, she'd complain about the leaves, kicking up a fuss, tossing them back onto my lawn as if I was the one responsible. I tried to explain how the leaves served a purpose, nourishing the soil, providing shelter for animals. She dismissed it, stubborn as ever. I'd invited her to community events, even baked her cookies during the holidays, hoping to soften her attitude. But she only saw the tree as an obstacle, an eyesore, even a threat. She demanded I cut it down, called it selfish, not to. I refused. That oak was part of my family's history, and I'd protect it at all costs. Then came spring. Things took a dark turn. I noticed a business card on my porch, a tree-cutting service. I was cautious. I had checked the property boundaries carefully. My tree was safely within my yard, rooted deep in the soil my family had cultivated for generations. Still, I kept my guard up. One morning, I returned home from a long trip to the Dominican Republic. The house looked wrong. The yard was empty, no sign of the oak, no branches, no stump, just a gaping hole in the earth where my grandfather's tree once stood. Shock froze me in place. My heart sank as I saw the damage. The yard torn apart, ruts gouged into the ground, debris scattered everywhere. I knew in my gut, that this wasn't an accident. Karen's house was taped off, her roof caved in, and she was nowhere in sight. I drove over to find her at a shelter in the next town, her face tense with worry, her eyes darting away. When I approached, "Karen," I said softly, "we need to talk, alone." She hesitated, then nodded, and we took a walk to the park nearby. The tension was thick. "So," I began carefully, "how did my tree wreck your house?" She snapped back. "It fell on it," as if that was obvious. "No, Karen. It didn't. Just fall. You had someone cut it down, without my permission. And now my family's heritage is gone. Tell me, how did that happen?" Her eyes flashed with anger. It was a menace, dead and dangerous. I had to do something. "By hiring an unqualified, uncertified tree cutter," I shot back. "The damage to your house isn't just from the tree falling. It's from reckless negligence." She looked away, furious. "You had no right to stop me. That tree was a hazard." I took a deep breath. "That tree was over 80 years old. It's worth a fortune. Tens of thousands of dollars. It's part of my family's history. And I will fight this legally if I have to." Her jaw tightened. "You're just trying to ruin me." "No, Karen. I'm defending what's mine. My history, my heritage, and I won't be bullied," she sneered. "You're just a selfish old man." I looked her straight in the eye. "If you touch my tree again, or try to blame me for what happened, I'll make sure you regret it." The tension hung there like a storm cloud. I knew this was only the beginning. My family's legacy had been stolen, and I would do everything to get it back. Because some things, some roots, are worth fighting for, no matter the cost. Moment I finished speaking, Karen's face twisted with rage. She clenched her fists, eyes blazing. "You think you can just come here and tell me what to do? That tree was a danger, and I had every right to cut it down." Her voice cracked like thunder, but I could see the desperation behind it. Suddenly, she stepped closer, voice dropping to a threatening whisper. "You better watch your back. That tree was more than just wood. It's part of this neighborhood's soul, and you're destroying it." Before I could reply, a loud crash echoed from her house. I turned sharply. Her roof caved in. Debris rained down like a storm. Her screams pierced the air. "Karen!" I shouted, rushing toward her, but she pushed me away, trembling, eyes wide with fear and fury. "Don't come near me!" she yelled. "This is your fault. That tree was a monster, and I had to get rid of it." I stared in shock. The scene was chaotic, but something didn't add up. Why did her house collapse just as she claimed the tree was gone? Had she done something else? Then I noticed it. The ground near the house had fresh marks, Tracks. Heavy, uneven footprints, leading from the yard to the back of her property. Someone had been there. Someone who knew what they were doing. My heart pounded. I looked around and saw a faint trail of disturbed earth. Someone had deliberately sabotaged her house, and the timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. I clenched my fists. "Karen," I said, voice low and steady. "Who was here? Who cut down that tree? And what else did you do?" Her eyes darted away. "It's none of your business. Leave me alone." But I wasn't about to leave her like this. I stepped closer, voice firmer. "You're hiding something, and I'm going to find out what. Because this isn't over. Not by a long shot." In that moment, I realized someone had set her up. Someone wanted to make it look like I caused all this chaos. And I was determined to uncover the truth. Because in this game of secrets and lies, the real danger was just beginning. And I wasn't going to let anyone get away with destroying what my family built, not without a fight. Of course. Here's the powerful, suspenseful ending that dives straight into the action, starting from where the previous chapter left off, with simple words, sharp dialogue, twists, and a mind-blowing conclusion. As I stared at the wreckage of her house, a cold sweat dripped down my forehead. The chaos around me was deafening. Rubble, dust, the distant sirens. But my mind was racing. I knew one thing for sure. This wasn't just an accident. Someone had planned this, and it was meant to look like I was responsible. Suddenly, footsteps crunched behind me. I spun around and saw a figure emerge from the shadows, clad in dark clothes, face hidden under a hood. My heart hammered. "Who are you?" I demanded, voice trembling but fierce. The figure paused, then slowly stepped into the light. It was a man, middle-aged, eyes cold as ice, smirking. "You've been digging too deep," he said softly. "You think you can fight the truth? Well, I've got news for you. Your precious tree was just the surface. The real secret runs much deeper." My blood ran cold. "What are you talking about?" He smiled darkly. "That tree wasn't just old. It was a marker, a sign. It protected something, something buried beneath the roots. And now? Now it's gone. So is the truth." Before I could react, he pulled out a small device, something like a remote, and pressed a button. A low hum filled the air. The ground trembled beneath my feet, and suddenly, the earth split open. I saw it then. A hidden underground vault, sealed tight with rusted chains. My mind spun. The tree had been guarding it all along. My grandfather knew. My family knew. And Karen? She had no idea what she'd just unleashed. The man turned to me, eyes blazing. "You wanted answers? Here, they are." He pressed another button, and a blinding flash lit up the sky. I shielded my eyes, but the shockwave hit me like a punch, knocking me to the ground. When I looked up, the underground vault was gone, disintegrated, as if it had never existed, and standing there, in the middle of the wreckage, was the man, gone, as mysteriously as he arrived. I realized then, the real story wasn't about a tree. It was about something far darker, and it had been buried for generations. Karen's house? Just a distraction, the damage? Just the beginning. I staggered to my feet, heart pounding. I knew one thing for sure. I had uncovered a secret that could destroy everything. And now I had to decide. Keep silent and live with the mystery, or reveal the truth and face the chaos it would unleash.